Amen. Good evening, everyone. Today is the commemoration of the martyrdom of John the Baptist. In today's gospel, Christ said something great about John the Baptist. He said something that applies to no one else, that among those born there is none greater than John the Baptist. Imagine that Christ says this about a person. Is there no one greater than John the Baptist? So what did John the Baptist do for Christ to say this word about him? What virtue, the greatest virtue in John the Baptist? Christ was very impressed by it. What do you think?
Humility. For someone to be humble in
type, and everyone can be humble in some way. There's not just one way. But I want to look with you today. What is the way of humility of John the Baptist? He said a few things that we want to put together and see what was inside John the Baptist, in his mind and in his heart. The first thing John the Baptist said was, a person cannot receive anything unless it is given to them from heaven. A person cannot have anything, they cannot take anything unless it comes to them from heaven. This is the first thing in John the Baptist's mind. There is nothing in him from himself. Everything he has came to him from above, from heaven. And I want to connect this with something else John the Baptist said. He must increase and I attack, meaning everything that came to me from heaven. And with this thing, he must increase, not that I increase with it, I decrease. He increases with it. There's an expression in Arabic when something isn't good or isn't, they say from underneath. I got this job under the table. I gave the officer money like that under the table. You say it like that, right? Forget about that expression. I want to tell you a new expression. Not from under the table, but from above to above. John the Baptist was living from above to above. Everything a person receives from above. And what did he do with it? He magnified the one above. Pope Tawadros came to Australia. The church was arranging where he would stay and where he would sleep. Of course, the Pope is coming, and the church got him the nicest hotel in Sydney and the nicest room in the hotel. It has to be for the Pope. When he was there, he had back pain. So they called someone a physiotherapy doctor. He goes to that hotel. The physiotherapist, this doctor, was authorized. And he told me later what happened. He went and found, of course, outside the room, there were security guards standing and they were waiting for him to come. When the doctor arrived, they opened the door for him and he entered. To examine the Pope, he said, I saw the Pope in the church wearing a beautiful robe with gold crosses and such grandeur. When I entered the room, I found him wearing a very old robe. He told me, not even black, just old in a way, not black. He told me, I think this was his robe when he was a monk in the monastery. He looked like that. So humble. Why he finished with the Pope and left, and as he was leaving, the girl who cleans the room every day asked him, who is in the room? You all came with security. Who is he? But he told her, that's the Pope of the Coptic Church. She asked him, how does he sleep?
He told her he's a human being. He sleeps on a bed like everyone else. And she said, no, he doesn't sleep on a bed. She asked him, what do you mean? She told him, every day I clean the room, and every time I enter to clean it, I find the bed made. He told her maybe the Pope has a way of making the bed when he gets up. She said, no, I make the bed in a way no one else knows how to. He doesn't sleep in the bed, he sleeps on the floor.
All the greatness of the Pope. For me, it is.
Nor for the church, it wasn't for himself. Everything that came to him wasn't from him. Where did it come from? From above? And he uses it.
From above to above, not for him. When St. John's Church in Seattle, the Protestant church, they were selling the church, and we said, of course, this is an opportunity to buy another church.
And we wanted to buy the church, and we said in the church, if anyone could help to join us, so we could buy the church. But someone spoke to me.
He told me, can I meet you for a coffee together? I said, of course. I met him. We had coffee together, and in the end, he placed a check in front of me. I looked at the check and found it was $25,000. I said, no, that's too much, thank you. But what is this for? He said, it's for the church we are going to buy. I told him, that's too much. Maybe reduce it a bit. It's not necessary. He said, it's not mine. It came to me from God. But why did you give it to me? I said, thank you. And I took the check and we left. 3 days later, he called me again and said, oh, can we meet for coffee? Like I said, anytime you want coffee, I'm available. I have no problem with that. So I met him, we had coffee together on the end. He placed a check in front of me. I looked, 25,000 again. I told him, what's the story? You gave me once. It's not necessary every 3 days. No, Father, you don't understand. After I gave you the $25,000, I got a new contract with the company for a very large amount. It's not from me, it's from above. There was a man in our church who built a new and beautiful house and spoke to the priest. He asked if he could come and bless the house. So we decided to go, and we blessed the house and started walking around, sprinkling water and admiring the beautiful house. And finally, we went a basement where he made a cinema room to watch a movie, and all the rooms and walls were designed in a way. To hear the beautiful sound, I asked him, do you know what the room is good for? He asked me what? I told him it could be a great studio for the church. The youth can come to record hymns and make interviews, and it would be like a studio for the church. He said, fine, it's for the church. He made the room with a door from the outside and a key, and gave the key to the priest. He said that the youth can come and go as they please without needing to inform us. They can enter directly from outside. This room is a studio for the church, and until now, the youth go there to record. Did you get something sweet from him or from above? And if you got it from above, then straight up. We know about you, Magdi, who was the faithful servant of the church here for many years. He has been serving all his life, and even now, at 80 years old, he continues to serve. And I was surprised. Sometimes we serve, and after a while we say, that's it, I've done my part, I'll rest a bit now. Let others work. And he keeps serving. I asked him once about you, Magdi, why do you do that?
Serve.
Doesn't there come a time when you say, I've done my part, and then you rest? He told me if God gives me some health, I will give it back to him. If he takes health from God, or God gives him that health, it's from above to above directly. That's the way. And John the Baptist lived by it. That is the commitment, not to see ourselves as small, not to look at ourselves.
Not very weak. That's not the aggression. To know that everything in our lives, it came to us, not from below, it came from above. And I don't use it for myself. I use it for heaven. I use it for the church. I use it for above.
I wish we all think like this today. What has God given us? Time, health, work, family, home, money, my skills.
My personality, everything in my life came to me from God.
And I must ask how to use all these things for God, not just from below to below, but from above to above.